Yo, welcome. Rough day at the office? Let's do something fun. So earlier, I saw someone on the forums, I think they were asking about this, right? And that's what inspired the video for today. So if I go here, hit a button, I'm going to turn on that light. Then I'm going to go here on the door. I'm going to change scenes. So this is level 2. And if I go back to level 1 by hitting this one, now the light is off, right? We didn't touch it, but it's off, right? And I think this is what people have a hard time understanding, which is the difference between you creating the game and interacting with the game and actually saving things to memory or like keeping things um I keep saying save to memory, but it's more like you're just keeping track of things, right? You need to tell the game to keep track of what it is you're doing because right now we just did programming to do this, right? We did our behaviors, whatever, all this stuff. This is just programming to make things move. But to make them remember what it is they're doing, we got to use variables, or specifically global variables, if you mean to save things across the scenes. So, object variables, they work for a specific object, right? You're giving that object a variable, and that variable only exists while the object exists. And this is another thing where I think people kind of like it blows past them, which is this. If I go here and I change the scene, um, this key, this one, this one, this one. There we go. Right. So now we're in level 2. And earlier, we were in level 2. This is not the same level 2. This is a whole new one. Now, if I go here and I go back to level 1, like this, there we go. This is yet another level 1. We didn't go back to the first one. That's the way we like the thing, right? Because that's how we see things happen in games. That's the magic of it. But we're not actually going back and forward to the same level. Every time we change the scene or the level, we're deleting the old one. Everything else that is about the old one gets deleted, just disappears, right? And we recreate a new one. So then we go to level 2, right? So right here, I'm gonna go here, and once I press the button, all this stuff is gonna get deleted, and level 2 is gonna be created, like that. That's why we always reset to the middle, because this is where we put everything at the start. Now when I go here, I'm not gonna go back to level 1. That's what the player feels. It feels when you're playing the game, oh, this is level 1 door, so I'm going to go back to level 1. That's not what's going to happen. When I press this button, we just deleted level 2 and recreated level 1, right? But it's a whole new level 1. To make things stay as they were, like to go back to the first scene, we need to save it, right? And this is where I was starting to explain. So there's different kinds of variables. So object variables, they get deleted once you destroy the object, right? They only work for that specific moment. Scene variables only work for that scene, but as you change the scene, they go poof, right? You no longer have that scene. You've deleted that scene. You're done with it. We change to level 2. Everything that was in level 1, specific variables, they're gone. So to keep things in memory, we use global variables. That's why the difference in the names, right? So to make sure that this stays on, we need to use a global. And we need to start telling the game to keep track of what it is we're doing. You know? GDevelop doesn't do anything for you. Like he already like facilitates the work, right? But just like programming your game in any other engine, you need to do the work. You need to, if you want something to happen, you need to be specific about it. So how do we go about this? For example, I have this thing here, right? The reason I'm using different keys, it's because it's a whole different beast, right? To use the same key. I don't want to get into that. I already made a video about it. It's called making a pause menu on the quick start series. Uh, but anyways, So let's get to this. So I press a button, and if it's off, turns on. If it's on, turns off. Right? This is the whole thing that's gonna happen. So how do we change this? We go like this. We're gonna add a variable. So we're gonna go to our global variables. Global variables. And we're gonna add a variable. And we're gonna call it lights. And the type of variable doesn't matter. So string means it's letters. So we can type in on or off, right? If it's numbers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. If it's Boolean, it's true and false. So this only matters to use what it makes sense in your head, right? If you wanna things to make a certain sense, like if it's a true or false situation, maybe using a Boolean is easier. Like, is the lights on? True or false? That kind of stuff. Or you could just use a string, which is a text, right? So we can use a string just for the fun of it and say that it starts at 0. It doesn't matter, right? Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Just for consistency's sake, right? We could do it a different way, but just for consistency's sake. So we're gonna type in off, right? Because they start off. So we're gonna type in off, and we're gonna hit apply. You can do this with numbers. You can do this however it is you want to do. I'm gonna add a variable to there, and I'm gonna go is string variable global. I don't know what it is. It's like text variable or something. Yeah, change text variable. General global. Oh, it's even here because we already declared it, and it's lights. We're gonna set to change to. We're gonna use non-capitals. I'm gonna change to on. So instead of changing the animation to on, we're gonna change the variable to say on. Now I'm gonna copy paste this one. I'm gonna put it down here. Instead of changing the animation to say to off, I'm gonna change the variable to say off, like that. Now we're gonna create 2 events. In the first one, we're gonna global text variable. Text variable global it's lights. If it equals to off, press OK. And I'm gonna copy paste this, and I'm gonna change the off to if it equals to on. To on. There we go. Third time is a charm. Now I'm gonna drag and drop. So if it equals off, I want the animation to change to off. If it equals on, I want the animation to change to on. Just like that. So global variables only change when you tell them to change, and they will stay across the entire game, right? So now we have this. Instead of changing the animation, we change the variable to say a specific thing. And if the variable says a specific thing, it does a specific thing, right? So if it says off, it turns off. If it says on, it's going to turn on. And why is it on already? Did I mess it up? Yep, I can't change it, so I definitely messed it up. Where did I mess it up? If it says off, turn to on. I'm an idiot. Oh, what am I doing? Put that there. And this over there. There we go. I had them backwards. Idiota! Okay, so I go here. I'm in collision. I press one of these buttons. There we go. Oh, there we go. And now I'm going to change the scene. gonna change. There we go. And now if I go back, you can even see it turn on at the at the start, right? You can do other stuff to like hide that, but as you can tell, it turns on when you go back. If we turn it off, and then we change the scenes, and then we go back, now it's gonna be off. Again, if I turn it on, do it like that, and like that. There you go. Now it's back on. We can fix that and make sure that it always does the thing it's supposed to. Um, I don't even know why it's being so slow at changing. I don't know. That's a different thing. But anyways, this is how you keep things in memory. So now you might be thinking, what about the character? It's like when I get out of the door. So here's what we're gonna simulate. It's getting kind of dark. Not really sure what the webcam can see. So let's turn this on. And now we're gonna go to level 2. And now we're like, oh my god, but I forgot the lights on. Let's go back home. And then I'll go back to level 1. So now my character gets teleported to the middle, right? How do we make it so that when he comes out of the door, he's there, like where we left him, right? That way we do that also with global variables, but we're gonna save his position. So, how are we gonna do this? At the beginning of the scene, like what's the easiest way to do this? We're gonna spawn the player. So we're gonna do like this. Let's get. Let's do 2 variables, 2 globals. Global variables. And we're gonna add 2 variables. And we're gonna do player X. XP, just to be different so he doesn't like get confused with something else. And player YP, or X position and Y position. And we're gonna make both of these into numbers. Good job, me. There we go. Number and number, and these could start at 0 for now. And we're gonna make this thing. Gonna add an event. I'm gonna say at the beginning of the scene. So at the beginning of the scene. Beginning of the scene, we're gonna change the position. So we're gonna go position of el player. And we're going to set the X position to our variable, our global variable. So player XP. And the Y position to player YP. Obviously, because you drank too much water. Oh no, I'll stop. Don't worry. So yeah, now at the beginning of the scene, we're gonna teleport our player to these coordinates. So to begin with, I'm gonna go and see what the position of him at the start is. So if I hover over him, I can't see because my eyes are really bad and I need to zoom in. So 448, 384. Oh my god, I'm not gonna remember, right? 448, 384. 448, 384. As if you don't do this. 448, 384. Oh my god. 448, 384. 448, 384. Remember, goddammit. 448, 384? Did I do it correctly? 384. As if you guys don't do the exact same thing. Everybody that I know does this. 384? 384. There we go. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad, is it? Now, if we preview the scene, we do not teleport. Good. So we're in the right position. So how do we change this? So when we collide, we're going to add this cool thing, right? We're going to save this. Because why not? In case I need to do more stuff like this. So here to change the scene. So when there you go. You can speak. There you go. When we are in collision, there we go. I know words. With the door and the S key is pressed, then we change the scene. But before we change the scene, we're gonna add the action, change number global variable. One of these will work, right? There we go. Change number variable global, and the variable is gonna be player XP, and we're gonna set it to the current position of the player. So player dot x, right? And press OK. And now we're gonna copy paste that one, and we're gonna change it to player yp, and we're gonna set it to player dot y. This refers to the regular oh my god, I'm having such a hard time speaking. Regular positions, right? So when you hover over the character, this is the x and y that shows up. It's when you do object dot x, open and close, right? Without the center. The center is a different point, the point that's right in the middle of the thing. If you just do without the center, just the point X and point Y, it's the X and Y that it shows when you hover over the object in the editor. And now we need to do this before we change the scene. So hopefully it's not going to be too quick. If it is, we're going to have to slow it down by giving it a wait timer. But anyways, so I'm going to turn on the lights. Turn on the lights before you go. That's not a song, that's just me being an idiot. And there we go in the middle. We're like, woohoo! And I was like, oh my god, the lights. Yeah, let's turn it off. Let's see if we're outside the door. Press the button and look at that. So back to the middle. And then I go, okay, let's go back inside. And there we are. If I go here and I exit here, then when we come back, I'm also going to be in this position. Check this out. I'm going to go there. And look, see? We're back at home. The lights are on. And we're exactly where we left off. Yeah? Cool beans, right? Woohoo! So this is what I mean by using global variables and keeping track of the stuff that you do. This is how you give the illusion that you've exited a place and you went back to that place, right? We can also do this with the pause the scene and go to a different one, and then we use the go back, right? But that's a different thing. That's mostly used for like menus and all that jazz. But if you want to give the illusion of like going back to a certain place, like we're doing right now, like the lights are on and we exit, when we go back, there we are, where exactly where we left off, right? This is how you do it. Global variables, save your stuff, learn how to use these slowly. I'll if you want, I'll make an example game that you can follow along. That's just like a bunch of these variables or something. So you can get the practice. of doing this kind of stuff, right? And it's the same thing for the enemies. Like if you have an enemy and you want him to, like, when you go back, not be there because you already killed him, then you also use global variables and you make it so that that enemy is linked to a global variable. And when you kill him, that global variable just changes, right? And if it's like one, like if it goes from 0 to 1, and if it's 1, then you delete the enemy. That means that when you go back, the global variable is 1, so he deletes the enemy. Or you could just, instead of placing stuff like this, like an enemy, you make a spawn point and you make it so that at the beginning of the scene, you spawn your enemies. And if the enemies have been defeated in that scene, when you go back, it doesn't spawn the enemies. So you make like a defeated variable, right? Enemy is defeated, true or false. If it's false, then it spawns an enemy. If it's true, then it doesn't spawn the enemy, right? So this is the kind of stuff you need to do. If you want, I'll make an example game, like something small with a lot of these changes, so everybody can have some practice doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, this is how you do memory. This is how you go between the scenes and you keep track of everything that's going on. And you give the illusion that you're going back and forward between the exact same scenes when in reality you're just deleting them, recreating them with changes that you do at the start, right? That's how pretty much anything works, right? Try any game engine, this is how it works, right? It feels different when we're playing. It feels like you're going back and forward the exact same thing, but you're not. It's like movie magic, but for game making, right? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all the jazz. It really helps. And until the next video, peace out and have a good one. Can you even see me anymore? Like, no, you can't because this thing is disabled. Hey, you can see me. It's not that dark yet. There you go. All right. Till next one. Ready, right? Till next one. There we go. I know words. Peace out.